This ain't no regular podcast. This is Westchester Talks.
What's up, everybody? Y'all now tuned into Westchester Talks, and this is episode 2. I am your host, PJ, and I'm here with my brother, Fred.
Yes, sir. What up, my guy?
And I got my brother, Lex, with me.
What's good, bro?
And here at Westchester Talks, we're all about the culture. Whether it comes to music, fashion, sports, entertainment, you name it, we talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. First and foremost, of course, we want to shout out our sponsors. Shout out to the Private Shop. Always giving us a place to shoot. Definitely, if you need sneakers, you need hypewear, you need anything like that, definitely come check them out. I feel like we started last episode off with the Knicks, so it's only right we run it back and talk about them Knicks again, y'all.
I mean, I said 4-1, so the FanDuel account is loading. But yeah, I mean, they pulled out 2 games. Like I said before, the experience plays a major part in the playoffs. And hopefully the Knicks win their next game, so my prediction could be right. But yeah, they've been rocking. Karl-Anthony Towns rocking. They need more from Bridges, though. They definitely need more from Bridges on that offensive side. Hart had a good game. But yeah, 4-1 Knicks.
It's 3-1 right now. Now I wonder, you shouted him out last episode, Karl-Anthony Towns, and he hit some shots last game. Where I'm like, okay, you doing that. Which you feel? You watch the game?
Yo, listen, man, all I'm going to say is this. The streets are saying the refs is cheating for the Knicks, man. That's what they saying right now. You know, it's a lot of slim, calls at the end of the game.
Yeah.
All these games are relatively close for the most
sure.
part. That's the scary thing. Like you said, that's when the experience, comes into play. And the Detroit Pistons, honestly, in my opinion, they're going to be scary, as years go on, because these are all learning experiences.
Sure.
But like Lex said, Lex called it. He's saying, 4-1. I said 4-2. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Because they play what, today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow or Wednesday, one of those.
Probably tomorrow.
They'll play before this episode is out.
For sure. So yeah. So you still got the same prediction.
4-1.
You still got the same prediction.
4-2. I'm still 4-2, man.
Yeah, and I'm still 4-3. I'm still there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely shout out to the New York Knicks. We New Yorkers, so we always got to shout them out. Let's tap into a little bit more of the playoffs too. Let's stay on the East Coast, or the Eastern Conference, I should say. We got the Cavs and the Heat. We got that series, which I feel about.
It's getting ugly, man.
Yeah.
It is.
The brooms is coming out for that one. That's how
Brooms is out. Brooms is out.
I think I saw a report basically with Tyler Hero. They asked him about, if they still had Jimmy Butler, how would things go? And he kept it a buck. He said, yo, if we had Jimmy, this whole series goes differently.
For sure.
And that all leads me to say, when you start talking about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and there's still another game to be played,
so
the brooms is coming out.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. So
now that's right. And they led by 2 guys from Westchester, Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome. So that's dope to see. Ty Jerome coming off the bench, having a hell of a year, hell of a playoff series. But yeah, the Heat, they just don't have enough. Close games. Some of them are close, though. But they don't got enough. Cavs is coasting, to be honest, 4-0.
Yeah. I feel like their morale, like once Jimmy was gone, it was over.
Yeah.
I feel like they got a whole lot of work to do there as far as just like finding their identity again and trying to see who's going to be that guy to like lead them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because honestly, Bam is a very good player, but he's not a number 1 option. And then Hero, I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's the number 1 option just yet. So 4-0 Cavs.
Yeah, for sure. And then
Definitely.
Next series is the Bucks and the Pacers. Now that series, I feel like is not getting talked about a lot, but it's a lot going on in that series.
Yeah.
When you talk about like Dame and Halliburton, like it's getting real spicy.
Yeah,
over
they was
there.
talking hot
Yeah.
to each other.
Talking hot.
But you know what I think that is, man? I think it's, the NBA community, especially the guys that are all-stars and superstars, I think they view Tyrese Halliburton a certain type of way.
Yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
they feel like he's not cut from a certain cloth.
Yeah.
And I think Dame is the one that's kind of really let him have it when it comes to that.
For sure.
So I think that's literally what it is. And then he got hurt.
He got hurt.
Dame got hurt.
I think he tore his Achilles.
Damn, shout out Dame, man.
So-
Speedy recovery.
Yeah, well,
So that's definitely 4-1. I
Yeah.
see the Pacers winning the next game. So, but again, the Bucks just haven't been able to click.
Yeah.
And the Pacers is a hot young team, right? They had a hot season last year, had a hell of a run in the playoffs. They got the momentum. So Let's see what Giannis does next season, because it's going to be real crazy to see, to follow his journey, because I think he's going to be out of there.
P, you think he's coming back? What's your prediction on Giannis right now?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think losing this series like this, if they do go out like this, I think it's over. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to. I think it's no knock. I think you tried as a superstar.
You won one already.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got one. Try to run it back. You gave that, that franchise years. Yeah. You did what you brought one in. You did what you needed to do. So it's not even you can move on, and I feel like you still gonna get the same love from the masses as well as like the Bucks organization. Like, you can never do Giannis wrong.
Facts.
But the big question for me is this, though, honestly. His brother going with him?
You know he going.
Yeah, he got it.
He got to. That's in his contract.
But I think the better question is, where do I think he ends up?
I heard someone say Dallas could potentially be a play between, Kyrie, him, and AD. That's what I was hearing. And I think I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. Listen, Clay start hitting and everybody else stays, and everyone's healthy. I think Dallas could be a good situation.
Yeah, I don't think he go there though. That's tough.
What you think of?
I think he's gonna go Brooklyn.
But
and people gonna follow, because Dallas. I think Dallas realistically is gonna go all out for KD. They're gonna go all out for KD. If they don't get KD, then.
But I feel like people's gonna stay away from Dallas right now, because it's just all like with the news and all the like, they doing spiteful things. If they trading Luka out of spite allegedly, and all these things are going on, it's like, as a superstar, it's like, if y'all did Luka like that,
nobody's safe.
But it's playing out how it's playing out though. Like, they're going hard on Luka, talking about he's not a winning player.
Yeah.
He don't play defense. He gets picked on. Yep. And that's what he's been doing in the series. So
that series too.
So I think they go all out for KD, and I think Giannis goes to Brooklyn. The Knicks might be an option. I think he stays on the East Coast. Just put it like that. I think he stays on the East Coast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sure. While we talking about Luka, we might as well get right into.
Go to the West Coast.
Right, let's go. Why not?
Let's go. Lakers and.
Oh no, we can't segue to the West Coast yet. We got to talk about the Celtics right now. Yeah. We got to. I feel, that series to most might be a quiet series, but I think, the Magic winning that last game, I think that kind of might wake the series up a little bit. Paolo Banchero, he's different.
Again, I don't think they have enough.
Good
young core. Yeah. They got two main players out, the Wagner brother and Jalen Suggs, two injured players that started for them, played major minutes. I think Suggs only started, but that played major minutes. But again, I think the Celtics always coast. Yeah. Like, they always, not saying they don't play hard versus certain teams, but they know they're going to win. Yeah. That's why they never really clean people out.
Yeah, and I feel like the Magic is similar to like a Detroit situation. Mm-hmm. Like, once they get it together, they'll get it together. You know what I'm saying? But definitely need like that more experience.
Yeah.
A couple more playoff games and a couple more pieces maybe, and now y'all in there.
Celtic 4-1. See, that season's done. Yep. That season's done.
Oh man, see you later, Orlando.
Yeah. Orlando.
Fishing. It's getting nice out too.
Yeah, man.
It's perfect time to go fishing.
It's time.
Yeah, chilling. So like you said, now we could go into your boy LeBron and these Lakers.
Man, y'all, this is a touchy subject for me.
Yeah, they down right now in the series, which I didn't expect. I got on FanDuel right now that the Lakers, like, I bet it, like, when probably a few days after Luka got traded to the Lakers, I bet Lakers going to be a 2025 champions. And it looks like, that might not be the case. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody can come down 3-1, from down 3-1, it's the man that did it before. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm going to say this, man. If LeBron can pull that off right now at this point of his career, that GOAT debate, GOAT debate, it expands even more, because right now, like Lex, like you were saying, everyone is picking on Luka when it comes to, on the defensive end and things like that, and they're exploiting that. It's making Dallas look like they were correct in that trade. And these are moments, especially what I noticed was on the interior, we need somebody.
Yeah.
Mark Williams would have been a big help for us if we were able to get him.
Huge.
But we miss AD.
Yep.
For sure.
I was watching the game. They had Bron, Vinny Smith, and Rui, and that's their front court. You can't do that. You're not going. I don't think you're going to win like that, especially when you got Gobert on the other side. He's not scoring points, but he's still a presence.
And Julius is getting whatever he wants in the paint.
Julius,
All offensive rebounds.
Nas Reed.
Yep.
Like they're a big team. They're not a small team. So, do I think Bron can come back? No. So he's 40 years old.
Like you said, this day and age is different than when you actually did it.
Yeah. It's current. I think it's current for them. Can they win the next game? Yes. But do I see them coming back from 3-1? No chance. No chance, Bron.
Yeah, man. Timberwolves finishing off at home.
Finishing off.
And shout out to Ant Edwards too, because
dog.
I seen the clip. Like I was watching the game, but there was a few things I missed, and then I seen clips of like him getting physical with Bron, like really.
Right.
And like we saying, Bron is older now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure in his head he want to react and play a different way to retaliate to that aggressiveness.
He can't waste that
like
energy.
But he like that.
Yeah.
It's different now.
He can't
but
waste
I'm
that
sure
energy.
LeBron, like as a competitor, I'm sure he's upset and angry at how the series is going. But as a hooper and a person that loves the game, I'm sure like after the series is done, when he looks back on it, he's gonna love that energy from him.
Yeah.
And I feel like the league is in good hands.
And he know Ant's a bug out.
Yeah.
You saw what he said to the crowd.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I ain't gonna repeat it, but you know what he said to the crowd. He'll bug out. That's what the league needs, though. The league needs that young excitement, and he's definitely wanting to bring in him, Morant. Hopefully, Morant get his stuff together. But those young players are definitely what is keeping the NBA, or will keep the NBA going.
Sure. And we could get into that now because that's a series since we on the West Coast now. Since we spoke about the Lakers and how we feel about that. The Thunder's Grizzlies, that series is over. So we don't even need to predict what we think. That's the only series that was a sweep.
Yeah.
How we feeling about, let's start with the Grizzlies. How we feeling about the Grizzlies? How we feeling about Ja?
It's all, in my opinion, is this. What does Ja Morant's future look like from here on out? On and off the court. NBA, endorsements, and all. Because their energy stems from him, literally. They could have used a Dylan Brooks. They could have used certain guys that they let go. You know what I'm saying? And now they're seeing the repercussions of those decisions that they made. But I don't see how the Grizzlies, unless they get someone in free agency, I don't see how they can turn this around, especially if Ja Morant is not mentally in a space where he needs to be.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think Ja Morant needs a fresh start. He needs to go somewhere where, he could get back and get that attention off of him, as in that negative attention that follows him in Memphis. And Memphis is the city of YNs. And he's a YN. And Edwards is a YN. LaMelo Ball, YN.
Yeah.
They wildin'. But I think Morant fits that city. His style of play, his image.
The identity.
Right? His identity. So it's going to be hard for him to find somewhere else where he could fit into the culture of the city.
While being himself.
While being himself. But he definitely needs to take a step back and really see, like you said, what he wants his future to look like. Because he's the face of the A. If whether he wants it or not, he's going to be talked about like he's the face of the A.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%. And I think to your point, I think he definitely needs to go somewhere else. I think it will be hard, but I think he's young. Yeah. And I think he just needs to, like, once he goes through, he's already going through things, but once once it hits him, because as men, it always hits us. We get to a certain point where we're like, I got to get together. Like, I'm bullshitting. Let me get right. And, for him, I feel like that time, and I hope that time does come soon. Hopefully it, happens after this series. Well, the series over, so hopefully now he's at home reflecting and trying to figure out what this next move is. And getting swept is it's not an easy thing. It never happened to me. I never played in the league to be swept, but I'm sure them as professionals and you on the highest level, losing 4-0 to somebody, especially another young talent in Shy, which we could get on to him now and talk about Shy. It's like, kind of peers, and in that same realm, like when we talk about young people that's faces of the league, and for you to get swept 4-0 like that, it's like, but is that a testament to how good Shy is, or just how bad of a place you think the Grizzlies was in?
I think it's a testament of SGA. You know, that's, by the way, we talked about him on the last show. That's my MVP.
Sure.
I think it's a testament to him. You know, everybody knew what the Grizzlies scenario was going to be solely because, you know, Ja was out for that amount of time. He had to come back, get into the swing of things, and then they let go of key pieces. So I think everybody felt like that was the scenario to begin with.
They're going to blow the team up regardless.
Basically.
No matter what happened in the series. Yeah, I mean, OKC the real deal. Like, you could tell they love hooping.
Yep.
You could tell they love playing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're gonna put the censored thing when he said
that's
that.
wild.
They
Yeah,
love
bleep that out. Yeah, but you could tell like they're a good group. They're like an AAU team that's been with each other for a minute. You know, they know where everybody's at.
having fun.
They look like they sleep over at each other's cribs. Like they look like a young team that actually enjoy hooping, and that's scary in this point in time during the playoffs. But do y'all think they have enough to get over the hump for a title?
I don't think so. I think they're definitely great. Like you said, I just feel like the young age and like the lack of like being there. It's like in the East, I mean, it's like on the East Coast, I mean, maybe the Celtics, but other than the Celtics, I don't really like, I feel like they could beat East, probably not the Celtics. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the experience.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
they coming out the West?
experience.
You got them coming out the West?
I low-key do. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I low-key do. And it's like, yeah, we expected them to sweep the Grizzlies, but it's like, I feel like any other team playing the Grizzlies, they would have probably gave up one.
Yeah.
They would have looked close. Like the Thunder's doing what they supposed to do. And it's like, I feel like they just got the momentum right now. And then when you got an SGA in the running for MVP, it's like, and then don't give it to Joker. I feel like now that's even more. He's like, all right, now y'all playing. Now I'm really going. We out of here. I gotta win a chip. Yeah. This is what I gotta do to give y'all y'all give me one. I gotta win a chip. All right. So now I feel like he got the chip on the shoulder. So now I feel like low key that's what's gonna happen. I feel like they're gonna give it to Joker.
Great take.
And now Shaw's gonna put that chip on his shoulder, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take it there. And speaking on, you know, that MVP race, Shaw versus the Nuggets, based on how this next series go, the Nuggets and the Clippers, we could be seeing that matchup of a Nuggets. OKC.
Yeah.
So, like we said, OKC swept through, did what they had to do, got the Grizzlies out of here, but now we Nuggets Clippers 2-2. What we feeling about that? What we feeling? How we feeling?
A healthy Kawhi is dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
for sure,
just him and Harden. I feel like if they get past the Nuggets, I can see the Clippers going to the Western Conference Finals. Like I can see them.
I do too. You know, like we said, man, that experience is that it plays a major part. You know, my prediction was if the Nuggets are able to figure it out, you know, the Nuggets might, you know, roll to the NBA Finals if possible. I don't see OKC, like we said, with their inexperience, really getting over a team like them. You know, but I think, listen, I'm gonna just put this out there straight up. I think the Clippers is gonna win the series.
Clippers gonna win the Nuggets.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I'm gonna just put it out there. I think it's the basketball gods been talking to me, you know, and I feel that. And, you know, and I think that they're gonna win that series. Man.
I mean, it's 2-2. So I feel like at this point, it's no wrong answer. Like it's 2-2. So clearly, like it's anybody's game. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you was to say that, and anybody's like, "Oh, Fred, you bugging?" It's like, is he really?
Am I?
Is he really? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those series, and this is the basketball. I feel like. People, especially even like us, how we came up playing and stuff, like this is what we love watching. That competitive, good series. Like, the Thunder blew the Grizzly out 4-0. It's cool watching SGA do his thing, put up the numbers he put up, but we don't really want to see that. We don't want to see no sweeps. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
We want to see the series that's 2-2 go to game 7. You know what I'm saying? It's all that type of stuff. So definitely shout out to, you know, the Nuggets and the Clippers. You got the Clippers. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Clippers. But this last series, we keep forgetting about this guy. We talked about the Rockets. Said OKC might. How you forget Steph Curry the way he's hooping?
Yeah.
We took every other team.
I feel like they don't be talking about
once I just realized, I'm like, hold on.
And I feel like the NBA, they got their agendas of like I feel like Steph is getting a little older, and it's like but he's not slowing down.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel like they trying to promote these younger guys in hopes of that, come on, y'all, we give you out of back and win.
Yeah.
But Steph just, you know what I'm
Steph.
saying? When you added Jimmy Butler, who's doing what he's doing. So like to your point, I don't even think we really even talked about the Warriors last episode. But if we did, it wasn't too much. And it's like,
the way they playing right now,
like shame on us.
Is giving us.
Draymond's playing hella. He's playing great on the defensive side. Now, not prime, but he's up there. So I don't really know.
But see, like, that's my thing, though, Lex. My thing
That's
is,
tough.
Is this all because they're getting over on a young Rockets team? And do those tactics in certain, stretches of a game work on an experienced team?
Like a Clippers, yeah.
Like the Clippers, like the Nuggets, like things like that. Does that work on them? Does that phase them? If Steph has 30, does that even matter to those type of teams? Because they're going to have things to offset that. As opposed to a Rockets team, in my opinion, Jalen Green, he's not ready.
And he said it. He said that too after game one. He said that he was nervous.
Yeah.
Like, so I understand exactly what you're saying.
And that's where it's like, for me, I worry about the Warriors when it comes to stuff like that. Because it's like, for me, I feel like in playoffs, NBA top level basketball, you never know. But I feel like a Nuggets play the Rockets, they sweeping them. A Clippers play the Rockets, might be all right, but they sweeping them. Like the Warriors giving up one to the Rockets. It's like, it's the playoffs. It's hard to beat a team four times in a row. Granted, it's like, I understand, but it's like.
But I read this tape that Draymond said. He said the Warriors are playing extra hard because they don't want to let Steph Curry down. So you got to think, when you're playing with somebody better than you or viewed as better than you when you were younger or when you were like just hooping, you going that extra mile. And that's what the Golden State Warriors is doing. I don't think any other team views or has somebody they view like that, where they're playing to the fullest because of who they have on their team and they know what's on the line.
No, definitely. I think. Listen, like I said, only as the series progresses, we'll see, because I don't know Jimmy Butler's injury status.
I think he's back for the next game.
So he's back for the next game. Yeah. They might be able to. And
playoff Jimmy's different.
Yeah, yes, he is. I think the Rockets are done.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that playoff Jimmy thing, it's like that's. At first, I was one of those like, come on, bro, you be chilling during the regular season. I'm not a believer in it. That's a real thing. That's playoff Jimmy's a real person.
Yes, indeed.
In the playoffs, I don't know how he do it. I don't know what. Man. You know what I'm saying?
They had the meme with him compared to the lady that was cooking when she was dead tired.
No, wait.
She sitting outside the
said, that's Jimmy for real.
No, for real. Like, he go all out.
He go all out.
Sure.
So it's gonna be tough to kind of beat them 4 times.
Yeah.
Especially if they're healthy. Whatever team they play throughout the playoffs. So that's going to be tough.
Especially, you got everything. The last point that I want to make about it is like, you just got everything. You got the toughness when you on defensive end, you got Jimmy, Draymond, those guys, and then you on the offensive end, you got the shooters outside. You could guy in the paint, you could drive,
Gary Payne Jr. Like they got pieces. So
for sure, definitely. Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see how they go. How far they go, but definitely can't count Steph out.
Can't count them out.
Can't count Steph out for sure. Can't count Steph out for sure. So yeah, that's really the recap on the NBA. Definitely a good playoff so far overall. What would y'all say overall about the playoffs as far as like how the NBA been going with like TV and TV deals and just like the hypeness around it? Like me, for a long time, I always enjoyed watching college basketball more than the NBA. Because I feel like the NBA players, they kind of, you're getting paid, and I feel like they kind of chill till maybe like the fourth quarter, third quarter. But playoffs is around, and I feel like it's real competitive. Dame and Halliburton arguing with each other, like people's Draymond, Jalen Green, like stuff like that happening and showing like, I really emotionally invested into this, and y'all playing hard, and it matters now.
Celtics and the Magic talking about next game might be a fight. So you're right. I love the physicality. Like you said, they invested in it. They want to win. Every team want to compete. And like I said, NBA playoffs is top notch. Nothing better than that.
I think it's the changing of the guard. I think if you talk about the series, that we just spoke on, every series has vets versus young stars.
Mm-hmm.
And the NBA is trying to promote them, like you said. And, it's like, for instance, Draymond told Jalen Green to go paint his nails. Yeah. See, that's that bridging of the gap where it's like two different generations and timings, talking crazy to each other. You got Dame talking to Halliburton. You got Jaylen Brown talking to Paolo Banchero. Yep. It's literally the changing of the guard. And the NBA, in my opinion, is basically saying, Bron, KD, Steph, we love you dearly. We thank you for your contributions. But we're starting to push y'all out because they're in fear that when those guys leave, what are the ratings and things going to be like? Who's next up?
Who's next?
And that's why I think Anthony Edwards doing those tactics that he's doing while he's winning games and talking to Bron a certain way, talking to Kevin Durant last year when he knocked him out a certain way. In my opinion, who better than Anthony Edwards? For sure. That's the guy that I think is going to take over the league.
For sure. And on that topic of speaking on like the NBA, where it's heading, young people, being like the new faces and the NBA pushing that, we got some players, speaking on the news, tragic news came out of a player who soon will be in the NBA, God willing, Alijah Arenas, son of Gilbert Arenas. News came out reportedly that he was in a car accident. Don't know all the details, but that it was smoking, lost control of the wheel, no drugs and alcohol was involved, allegedly. Like I said, we don't know all the details specifically, or don't know if they're true or not to be speaking on them as facts. So, got in the car accident, lost control. Pedestrians walking by seen it, pulled him out the car. He was in a coma a few days, and recent news, I think came out 2 days ago, that he's no longer in that coma, and he's up, showing progress. So we definitely want to wish you well, speedy recovery to the Arenas family. Prayers out to y'all. But just want to speak on, like the kids of professional basketball players and, the kids of celebrities who's in these spotlights, and who may, I know somebody that recently got in a car accident, maybe not too long ago, but it's not like televised how it is. So let's speak on how we feel about, these kids and how important it is for them to, utilize, yes, of course, these social medias, but doing it in a way where, and just the decisions they make in general. Like that seemed like it was like a freak accident. Car started smoking that, no drugs, no alcohol, can't really put the blame on him, but just, being that he is a son of somebody like Gilbert Arenas, just get on that topic of just a celebrity kid and social media and all those things. So let's
first shout out to the people that saved them.
For sure.
Right?
Definitely.
And, not to make light of it, but if that happened in New York, people would just be walking right by the car, sadly.
Definitely.
They're like, what?
Especially if the Knicks lose.
Yeah.
Especially if the Knicks lose.
But, it's God timing, though, because he crashed. It says smoke was in his car. He crashed. And it's kind of like, luckily, he crashed into a fire hydrant. Cause I know you saw the video with him laying in the water. Really probably could have saved his life. Right. Cooled him down, did whatever. Like, the video was kind of crazy, him just laying in a big puddle of water that was coming from the fire hydrant. So, again, God works in mysterious ways.
Most definitely.
And luckily, he is doing it right, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be back to 100%. But I think the young players that are from NBA players or NFL, their sons, they get criticized a lot. Right, they're on national TV a lot for whatever they do, and this is crazy because I think 2012 was like the first time this actually hit the media big time, was when Justin Combs was playing football at Iona Prep, and he earned a full scholarship to UCLA for football.
Right. And
the masses went crazy because they're saying, why are you giving him a full ride when his dad is a billionaire or a millionaire? Right? So they were mad that saying that he was taking scholarships away from someone else when your dad can easily write a check and have it all cleared. But again, it's like, that shouldn't even be a thing.
No, for sure.
Right? Just because who your dad is doesn't mean you don't deserve what you get. So just to piggyback off that, it's like, I mean, it's like it's a win and it could be a loss. You know, you got the opportunities and then, you know.
You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. I think with the Alijah Arenas situation specifically, it builds new perspective for the young athlete.
Yeah.
Basically, how a freak accident could end your career and things like that in the blink of an eye. And not saying that that's happening to Alijah Arenas, but the idea of, you know, if this would have went to the furthest extent,
Yeah.
you know, this could be that could be life and or career threatening.
Sure.
And I feel like the young athlete needs to see these type of situations and not take this game in their lives for granted.
Yeah.
You know, because accidents happen. It could be his fault. It could be anyone else's fault. It doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, these kids gotta know. Listen, I'm living in my dream right now, and I need to take full advantage of this.
For sure.
And not take life for granted.
For sure. For sure.
But I mean, like we said, man, the topic of, you know, professional athletes, kids, they're in the damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. You know, like if I'm a professional athlete, I want my kid to strive to get a full scholarship.
For sure.
Because the way I came up was like that.
Right.
You know, if I came up in the trenches, I came up in the hood, whatever you want to call it, and that was my only hope to get into school, you know, and my mom couldn't pay. That's what I had to do. So I want my kids to understand that same grind.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Like, I understand, like, he could pay for school, but it's like Justin Combs necessarily can't pay for school at that moment when he's getting, you know, and maybe he could, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, if he earned a scholarship, that's what he earned. Like, you know what I mean? You can't say, oh, his parents could pay for school, he should pay for school. And it's like, if they wanted to do that, cool. You know what I'm saying? Let them tell you, oh, yo, appreciate the scholarship. Yeah, son, you earned it. We can afford it. Do you want to pay for school and give this scholarship maybe to somebody else who maybe is less fortunate and who earned it as well, not just giving away scholarships, but, you know, and let them make that decision. I would say if you're going to have that back and forth about it. But I think what a player earns, and you can't take it away from them, like, at the end of the day, regardless of what their circumstances are. Because I think, like, to Fred's point, it's like, that's what you want for your kid. Like, you want your kid to go through the trenches and go through that, regardless of how much money you got. You don't want to just hand it to them. You want them to see that what hard work is and like what you could get out of working hard. You know?
And at the same time, you want your kids to reap the benefits of your hard work as well. It's like,
for sure.
Why would you want your kid, whether it is, why would you want your kid to struggle if you made it out? Right. Like, that makes no sense. And that's where it's like a lot of people talk different about kids living off their parents to a certain extent. Like, if I put all this pain in, obviously you want your kid to grind and go through the sacrifices. But if I'm able to pay this trainer to train you 5 times a week, why not do it? If I'm able to try to travel here and there, you know, for you to get the best work, why not? If I'm able to get you into this door, why not? Right?
Sure.
Other coaches do it.
Right.
So that's like, you have to reap the benefits of your parents and what they did. And as a parent, you should want that for your child to be able to, you know, enjoy what the work you put in.
Right. Because why, like you say, you work to get there. So why do you need to struggle if I already did the struggle? And
there's other ways to teach that.
For sure. Yeah. And then to your point of that, of like parents, you like bringing them to the trainer. We seen a few things earlier. Me and Fred spoke off camera about it. Parents being the question, or I think you had tweeted it actually, and it was just a thing of like, parents, is there a such thing as parents being too involved in your kids' like athletic sports life? So, you know, you got those parents at the game yelling, arguing with the coaches after every game, and I'm sure we all had teammates like that. We actually had a kid, I'm not going to say names and stuff, where parent came and had like a whole meeting with the coach, like, why's my son not playing? And you know, and it puts coaches in tough positions, but especially when your kid is not really it's like your kid is not really performing like that, and you kind of just see it as like.
Well, let's talk about our experiences, right?
As well. So,
was your parent, how involved was?
My parents were involved, especially my mom. My mom was really, really involved.
Yeah.
But I'll say this though about my mom. She gave me enough rope to let me hang myself as well. You know, if I wasn't performing, I was being lazy, things like that, she'll let me know about myself. And then when she backs off, it comes to a situation where Now, it's not only her, the coach is letting me know about myself now. And she's just sitting in the background like, I told you. You know, you have certain parents where the kid is never held accountable and the kid is never wrong, you know, and, you know, like you said, it puts coaches in a tough and a sticky situation because we're coaches and things like that, and we train kids and things like that. We're not always right either. We make mistakes as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where it's like, you know, the parents that are too involved, you know, could be a gift and a curse. Yeah. And those same parents could also let us know, like, listen, as a coach, I feel like, you know, you could have done things this way. And we can go back to the drawing board as well and realize, you know what, parent or whoever, you were right as well. You know, so it works both ways. But my parents was involved, especially my mom.
Yeah, and I think to your point of that, I think I was like one of those kids who's like wasn't really held too much account, especially when it came to like basketball. Yeah. Like I didn't really have any real like guidance or role model when it came to like the scholarship, college, basketball, like this is what you look for in the school kind of thing. Now, as far as being like a good person, a good human being, having a good heart, my mom was that for sure. Right. You know what I'm saying? Single mother household. My stepfather came in, of course, later down the line. I love him to death. Shout out to Clarence. Clarence. But I feel like by the time he came around, I was already, especially being the first boy in the house, like I was like the man in the house at an early age in my head. So by the time he came around, I was already like out of there. Like you can't really tell me nothing, which my mindset was. So for me, I was one of those kids. Like my mom, because I was a good person, good kid. I went to school. I'm at school on time. My grades is good. My mom kind of let me, don't want to say do whatever I want, but I kind of did whatever I wanted. Like he said, I'm sleeping over his crib on school nights. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people, it's like, bro, he live in White Plains. I go to school in New Rochelle. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is at 16, 17. So for me, and then even when it came to like just basketball, college decision, like I didn't know what school. I'm not knowing what to look like. I went to Duquesne University, which I learned when I got on the campus, which is like a private Catholic school. I didn't know that till I got there. Like, cause I'm seeing statues on the campus. I'm taking Bible class. I'm like, wait, why? I got to do all this, and they like, yo, bro, it's and I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like those little things of just not even having somebody to tell me that. Like my mom is just looking at it like. I go to her, oh, Mom, I'm getting scholarships to school. Oh, so you going to school for free? Oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but I got a couple, though. Like, I got to pick one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm telling her to school. She's like, well, whatever you think. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's regardless of what you pick, you going to school for free.
It's free.
Exactly.
Yep.
Pick whatever you want to pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? We going to support you. So that was, and then my high school coach, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of like, like everybody kind of knew he was on his way out. So I feel like, with our decision, and I don't want to speak wrong on it because I did, shout out to Bill Murphy, but I feel like he was swaying me to go to Duquesne because it was just like my biggest school at that moment. He's just like, yo, just go A10, big school, and just to be like another D1 name for his resume, kind of, sort of. And then I had guys telling me, go prep, yo, go to South Kent, go there for a year, rock out, get more mature, get stronger, faster. So it was just like being pulled in all these directions. Then when I'm going home, at the end of the day, I'm by myself. So it's like, I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up, but yeah, and I feel like that hurt me a lot. Like, I still got to the D1 level, but I feel like I could have went further and maybe even bigger school. I would have probably took a different route. No regrets, of course, just looking back on it. If I had like a mentor or somebody that was kind of like, look, this is what you're going, or just even punch me in my chest. Like, yo, you bugging. You know what I'm saying? Because like we joke around, say I was this bug out, and it's because nobody ever punched me in my chest when I had a bug out situation. The only person that to this day that did it, and we could get to you, this could kind of lead into your experience, is Jay Lee. Jay Lee was the only person who's like, yo, P, you bugging. Like, smack me in the head, grab my shirt,
all of us.
And it's like, and obviously I'm arguing back with him. I think we probably about to fight and everything, but that made me rock with him more. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I love Jay Lee for that. So, yeah, that was kind of my experience.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't have, my parents weren't involved in basketball at all. Like you said, my parents were involved in me just being a good person, right? Not being in the streets and going to college, right? And then I have an older brother that did it before me, and we're only 2 years apart, Christian. So I had a blueprint of where to go, like, you know, the path to take, you know, to be a good person, to go to college, to get education. But aside from that, it's like my parents didn't come to games. My parents didn't. I played right down the street in the park. Mom probably watched me play one time. She did come, you know, she dropped me off in college. The next time she came back around was when I graduated. Right? But not to say she was heavily involved, like you said, off the court stuff.
For sure.
Like everything off the court, me being a good person, me getting good grades, she's on me about that. But when it came to sport, that was like Alijah. That was like, yo, you go out there, you just go, you know, stay out of trouble.
It's fun.
Yeah, enjoy, you know, you hooping and being with your friends and stuff like that. But everyone does need that, though. Like I said, are parents too much? Yes, in most cases, if they're too involved, it hinders the kid because now, like you said, you're not allowing kids to kind of fail or go through obstacles and situations that build you up, right? And on the other side of that, some parents need to be more involved because they're allowing kids to be pulled any direction. And as a parent, you should be able to know what your kid is doing and what's going on and everybody's intention. But like you said, like Jay Lee, I had so many people from my neighborhood that kept me in line and make sure we always played hard. Duck, you know, Steve, Higgs, a lot of people that would definitely steer me in the right direction. So I had it wasn't my parents, but I had people in my community that definitely held me to a high standard when it came to work ethic and going through stuff.
So
my thing is this though, right? So I'm listening to all of us, right? And I feel like you two are grouped in with the parents, you know, not being as involved. Mine, I wish would get off my back, you know, and chill out. You know what I'm saying? And what does that do for y'all mental health? You know, if you could really backtrack to that age,
for sure.
You know, how did that make you feel sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe, you know, our people's just listening right now. Maybe this is our way to kind of vent to them and things like that to let them know.
Going through the same thing we might be going, we went through at that. Their parents maybe not coming to the games.
Well, for me, I'm gonna be honest, I never thought about it as a negative because I always had stability.
These kids. My fault, y'all. We got kids in the back.
Yo, hold on. Shout out to the kids, man.
And all that.
What up, y'all?
Kids in the back.
Yeah.
We get them.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the kids. Say what up, man. Say what's up.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, chill out, man. Go on. Yeah.
Man.
It's mad late, man. What are you doing? Calling your mom, man.
But,
that's what you talk about the parents, man.
Yo, the parents, man. Where's your kids at? Where's your kids at on the school night? What we doing? What are we doing?
What time is it right
You
now?
know what I'm saying? Y'all was
8:30. They're walking past the private shop.
Yo, Marinick Avenue. What are you doing? But honestly, I never viewed it as a bad thing. My parents, my dad, my mom not being involved, as in like so much in basketball, because there was so much involved in my life in general. So like I said, basketball was always like something that I did, you know, to make sure that my head is always on straight, right? If something that is going wrong in life, basketball was what I used to kind of clear my headspace. So my parents not being there, it was normal to me. And again, some people see and like, damn, your parents didn't come to the game, your parents didn't support. They supported me in other ways that I feel like made up for it. Like they dropped me off at the games, they picked me and my friends up. And you compare that to people that do have their parents at a game, right? Some of their parents come to the game, but they're not there to support them off the court or support them mentally. So it's basketball. Exactly. Stuff. They only come to sports stuff. They only come to stuff when you're shining or when the kid is shining, they want to be around. So it, like you said, kind of double-edged sword. But for me, I didn't really take it as no way because I always felt like I had home, right? And not everybody has a house, but not everybody has a home. And I think that makes me grounded in how I am today. It's like my home base.
So you kind of viewed basketball, like how you said, you kind of had to understand it early, how your mom kind of maybe viewed it as like, this is my leisure, my fun time. Like I'm not really worried about Mom Dukes pulling up because it's just a fun activity. If I do a play at school, I know she'll be there.
Exactly. Like if my school teacher calls home, oh yeah, my mom's on my ass.
Right.
And that's, some people don't have those parents.
Yeah, for sure.
I work in the school right now. You call home, the mom might curse you out for calling her.
Right. I'm at work right now. You call?
Yo, your son bugging. Why you calling? What?
Right.
He was guardian.
Yeah.
But you see that, right?
Nah, for sure.
And that's. But that's a good question though, because like I said, in hindsight, when you think back, right, you don't know what really, led you in certain.
Yeah,
directions.
and I was one of the kids who you were speaking of who, like, because I was the same way. Played at Remington Boys and Girls Club growing up all the way through middle school, which is literally right across the street from my crib. High school probably 15, 20 minutes away. Yeah. My mom probably seen me play once or twice. You know what I'm saying? Through the whole time. And she probably, and it was like, same thing though. But I knew when it came to life stuff, she's there. Yeah. But I was one of those kids who at times is like, cause Craig was my point guard. Craig's pops. He's one of those, coaches who's gonna be on you. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those, he curses you, he's gonna push you and hold you accountable. So I was watching how much he showed up playing with Craig. I played with him from 3rd grade to 8th grade. So watching his pops was like kind of a father figure to me, watching him, how much he showed up for him. So there was those moments for me where I'm like, damn, like I'm going to the games, people's parents coming to pick them up, small things. Oh, getting them a Gatorade. Like halftime come, people, and luckily, I was good at the sport to where other people, and some people just are good people to what they gonna do for a child anyway, regardless if you're good or not. Yeah. But me being good, I feel like helped me not really think too much about that because of other people. And whether it was fake or not, for me being a kid just growing up, everything was just like, to me, I'm just looking at it open-eyed, not knowing real or fake. If you really genuinely care for me or if you're doing stuff for me because I'm good at basketball, I'm not thinking of it on that level. You want to give me these sneakers? Appreciate you. Like, good looking, like. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was one of those kids, man, who would just be like, damn, like, why my people's not at the game? Like, what? Then how I'm getting home? Yeah, I know I'm gonna get home, but like, why I can't get school? But I never looked at my mom no way about it because I knew she was there for everything else. I knew if I asked her to, and I knew how much she was a single mother for a long time until my step-pops game. So she's working 2 jobs, coming home, got a clean cook for me, my brother, my sisters, like. So she's doing so much and got other kids that she got to worry about where it can't be revolved around me. So me being the first boy in the house and the man of the house, I feel like I kind of accepted that because I knew like, shoot. And that's what made my mentality what it was, where it's like I had so much classes with like coaches and authority because I felt like I was the authority in my life. Like my mom don't tell me I can't do this. What you telling me I can't? It's a fact. You bugging. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And to say it's like you didn't have a pops at that time, right? To tell you as a male figure, most of our coaches are males.
For sure.
So it's like that's what a lot of people go through. It's like you kind of deflect. But for the most part, it's like that does affect people in ways that you don't even know until you get older.
Yeah. And it was just all of it though. And even to the coaches, like you had the J. Lee's, who gonna tell you like, yo, you buck. Like even I had maybe 2 coaches who will tell me that my shit stink. Like the other coaches that I ever played for will let me get away with telling them to shut up. Or, yo, PJ, come sit down. No, I ain't. They'll let me get away with all these things because they care more about the winning, which I'm in the game. You got a better chance of doing if I'm in the right state of mind than actually disciplining me and watching me and caring about what I'm gonna look like as a man after this. You know what I'm saying?
And that's funny you said that because all my coaches never like. I probably fought all my coaches. Yeah. Every single one growing up from J. Lee, Duck, because like you said, you start to feel yourself, but they always bring you down to earth, and they did that with everybody in our community, in our neighborhood. Sure. So you need that, like you said, and that goes to, again, it wraps up kind of parents being involved, but also just genuine people that you need that don't cater to these kids. And I think right now, there's too many adults catering to kids.
For the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons, for their benefit. Whether it's, catering to try to tag along. Because I know you were like you said, you was one of those players. So there's a lot of adults that was trying to tag along to you wherever you went. People, friends, and stuff like that, where they were letting you rock out and do whatever. And that, like I said, that plays a major part in people's growth when they get older. Like, you got to start holding people accountable.
Like you said, on the other side of mine, though, I always wanted, like, oh, wow, I want somebody, which, like you said, you had. So for you, like for us, we viewing it as like, damn. Well, me specifically, like I said, damn, why my peoples can't come to the game? Like you having
I had
that there every
Yep.
game, every practice, every like really being there, and like you said, maybe a bit too much at times. Like how did that you feel like affect you, and did you feel like on the opposite side, like damn, I wish you weren't here as much?
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I used to do little tactics where no other coach in my life was tougher on me than my mother. And speaking on guys like Jay Lee, who coached all three of us, there was times when my mother told Jay Lee, watch out. Like, you know, some of my other coaches like, hold on. Yo, watch out, let me talk to him. You know, so there was times I was just like, yo, my mother is crazy. Yeah. She losing her mind, you know, things like that. I can't deal with it, you know, and sometimes it was, you know, when I was real little, I used to cry on the court, all of that. You know, you know, I had to wipe my tears while playing. I'm at the foul line crying, you know, but, you know, looking in retrospect now, you know, it's like, I needed that because the man I feel I am today is solely because of my mother in those moments, you know, because she always preached to me character. You know, she didn't care how my basketball career turned out. Who I was as a man, it was everything that she cared about. So, you know, like even with things like that, you know, I was gonna say to y'all, you know, to kind of, you know, wrap up this segment, just shout out one or two coaches that you know, really want to give credit to that helped you along the way as a player and as a man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could real quick, like you said, to end off that, I would say my two would be, I would say Coach Gill. Shout out to Coach Gill. He coached me, I want to say when I was in 8th grade. Another one, only coach that ever, it probably happened more times I can't remember all. I played a lot of basketball, but only coach that I can remember like vividly benching me. Like don't care if like I was a big part of, we was competing, we was in Brooklyn, I think. We was playing a good game. I'm fake cooking. He kept telling me go to the foul line. I didn't want to go to the foul line. I want the ball in the wing. He's telling me go on the foul line, get it, turn, you going make the play. That's the best spot to be right now. They in the zone. I'm like, no, I keep slowly going to the wing. Try to do the man shit. What? Sit down. Sat on the bench. I think we lost that game. Still was a good game. We lost. And I think if I remember, he straight up told me like, yo, bro, I don't care about winning that much. Like, I don't care about winning that much. You could sit on this bench every game. And you, of course, I'm whatever, But now I look back on it. That's one thing that make me respect him a lot. Coach Gill. Then just him being a pops with like 3 basketball boards. Like he was like the first LeVar Ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? In New York. And so shout out to Coach Gill. And then just to make it quick, I mean, I would say either it would have to be an A-B with like Krabby and Jay Lee. I would just have to go Krabby, Jay Lee. Those would be, you know what I'm saying? And Krabby just nourishell, player himself, coach, legend. One of the reasons why I wore number 11. So shout out to Coach Krabby and then Jay Lee. That story I told, just one of those guys who just loved the game of basketball, loved kids, and just a great person. So,
and I'm gonna go with my first one. I'll go Higgs, rest in peace.
Higgs.
But he's the first one, my first coach ever for any sport. I played football before I played basketball. 2nd grade, you know, skinny Dominican kid on Ferris, knocked on my door, came outside, maybe a quarterback. My first season ever. I didn't even know what football was. Right, and then he made the New York Blaze. I was like one of the first people on the team for the New York Blaze. And he put the basketball in my hands. Maybe the point guard, second, third grade. My first time really playing on the team. All I did was play outside. So he's definitely the number one person that inspired me to play basketball, to be around basketball, to be a good person, everything. Because he was like, when my parents split, he was like the second, I won't say stepfather because he would always joke and say my mom was his girl. But he was like pops to me growing up from 2nd grade on. Like he put me on every team, took me everywhere with him. So he's definitely one. And then I'll say for 2, I gotta say my whole, little New York Blaze community as a whole, because like I said, they always kept us in check. Sure. They always make sure we were straight. They always, go to the park, $0 in your pocket, you go home with a sandwich and a drink every single day. Right. So those people definitely I appreciate to the fullest.
I would say for me, first RIP on Tony Lopez. Tony Lopez was the guy, especially when I was in high school, that made me feel elite. Made me feel like, because, he knew how to court us. He'll take us anywhere to go play against top talent, things like that. And, just, he had the gift of gab. He knew how to talk, and maybe some of that rubbed off on me a little bit, even now today, as a coach and things like that. And then I would say, the other two guys, RIP, Boston Keith from the center. He was the guy that when I was really feeling myself in high school, he was the one that checked me for my body language, and really telling me, things that matter, that college coaches are really looking at, how you walk into gyms, how you walk out of gyms, how you walk around, who you are as a person. And then the person that when I was a kid, I never wanted to play for him. I feared him. I felt like he was working out guys. It was too much for me. Shout out Coach Benji. Benji was one of those guys that I never wanted to play for him until I was ready. And when I was ready to play for him, Team Friendly, we went to war. It is what it is.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Team Friendly alum as well.
Yep, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's dope. And that segment fully is it's crazy how, and to the importance that we keep saying, how all our favorite people is the people who checked us or who told us, our shit stink. Not the people who's oh yeah, just giving us roses or letting us know, because that's what, like we said, kind of molded us to the people we are today. You know what I'm saying? And on the topic of, and we could talk a little bit about it, 'cause I know we kind of got carried away with
Good topic.
We was venting.
Yeah, for sure. This was our therapy session, you know what I'm saying? But a little bit about the parents. Let's talk about parents, maybe, which some people saying doing a little too much. Let's get into Deion Sanders and a little bit of the NFL draft. Shedeur got picked 5th round, 144th pick. Some people feel like he should have went way sooner than that, 1st round. Some people saying 2nd round. Some people saying he shouldn't have got drafted. How do we feel about that?
What I would say is, if anyone has or should have the right to say something about the NFL and know the in and outs, it's Deion.
Yeah.
So that's what, he carved the way. So I think he has the right to do that. Did he do too much with saying his kids don't want to play? He knows the owners. He knows the president. He knows these teams, and he knows the politics that come with it. So did that hurt him? Can that potentially hurt his son? I think it did, because I don't think there's 144 players better than Shedeur. Sure. But it's not, you're playing a game. It's not your game. So you got to play by.
Yeah. So you feel is it safe to say you feel like it might have hurt him when it comes to the draft, but long run, maybe the Browns might be an organization where it's it might be all right there.
Exactly. It's like the total opposite of Bronny and LeBron. Bron being his pops helped him.
Right.
Deion being his pops
might have hurt him.
Might have hurt him. Right. So
granted, we wasn't, they say his team meetings and things, pre-draft. It was a pretty underwhelming. And, we weren't flies in that room. We don't know what was happening. And things
all
like
this
that.
is alleged. Everything we
it's all
speak
alleged.
is alleged.
But if we're going based off pure talent and things like that, to see a guy that's talked about for weeks being in the top 3, if not top 10 at least, drop to 144, after round 2, it becomes blatant at that point to where
it's more than football.
Yeah, it's more than football, and you got to start to really gauge what's really going on behind the scenes. But my problem is this: we saw the footage come out of the young man who prank called Shedeur.
Yeah.
And just so happens his father works for the Atlanta Falcons. That, I know that hurt Deion Sanders.
Oh, for sure.
Because this is a guy that, now as a coach and as a parent, you say, oh, he might have hurt his son's draft stock. And then the same organization, Atlanta Falcons, that he made popular, especially within the culture, and made the NFL a lot of marketing dollars, and has done a lot for the NFL, just as much as they have done for him. For him to kind of have his name played with in this manner,
that was crazy.
It's kind of crazy, and I know that hurt him. You know, besides, you know, the other owners not drafting his son as high as he expected. So, you know, things like that, it's like, listen, if they're God-fearing family, and like you said, the Browns might be a situation that might be beneficial for Shedeur.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that is going to be the case. Like, I feel like him going there, it's like, it's just football. Like, all you could do is lock in on that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this situation and watching how it played out, this made me like them a little more. Like, I wasn't really the hugest fan of, like, Shiloh and Shedeur, you know what I'm saying? Just the, like, how they carry themselves is, you know, just, I confused the confidence with cockiness at times. So for me, it's like, I'm not really, but seeing how he carried himself in this situation, even how he mentioned the dude who did call him and prank him, he basically chalked it up like, you know, people make mistakes and do dumb stuff all the time. It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't flip out, like, go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Even during the whole draft situation, I'm seeing videos come out, him and his brother laughing and playing around. And shout out to his brother, because we speak about people needing that, like, person there. His brother was there the whole time. Didn't once say, dang, I ain't get drafted. Dang, oh, bro, you ain't getting drafted. He's, like, making jokes. They're laughing. So I feel like him being there also helped Shedeur get through that situation. I feel like Shedeur gonna ball out. I feel like he gonna, first and foremost, he got to fight for that spot. You know, the Browns do got some people over there on their depth chart that he got to play for that position for. But I feel like he will. I feel like he'll ball out, and I feel like he'll make the NFL. The teams that did pass up on him regret passing up on him.
And Shiloh got signed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers too. Sure. So, you know, no matter how it went down, Deion Sanders, his plan, it worked. It's complete. Mission complete.
Both his sons.
The LeVar Ball effect.
Yep.
For sure.
Mission complete.
Sure. And speaking on Shedeur, we definitely got to speak on Travis, his counterpart. You know what I'm saying? Him getting drafted number 2 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is he playing wide receiver and cornerback? Do we feel like the Jaguars picked it knowing, like, yo, we gonna let you rock? Like, well, I know we're not the biggest football people, but that, just hearing that, I'm not a big football pro, but that I know is crazy.
He won't do it at the clip he did it in college.
But they'll let him.
But they did say, you know, basically they're gonna explore it, explore the idea. They're gonna let him rock out.
That's hard.
I think it's too much at that NFL on his body. It'll be too much on his body.
That's my worry.
But I think they'll be smart about it.
Sure.
I don't think he's gonna play the whole game like he did in Colorado.
Right, every single snap.
That's kind of crazy playbook. But if anybody could do it, it's him.
It's Travis, man.
Yeah. I'm jacking it. Shout out to Travis Hunter. And then speaking number 2, guys, speaking number 1, shout out to Cam Ward, the number 1 pick of the NFL draft.
I'm sorry, that's my favorite college team since I was a kid, man.
And it's well deserved too. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch, like I said, me personally, I don't watch too much college football, so I didn't watch it too much. You know, I'm more so like scrolling on the Instagram, seeing the highlights, but I did see a few clips of him even in like off season. We ain't drinking water. Like, yo, Shedeur, why you drinking water? We don't drink water. Like, just certain videos I seen of just how his mentality is, and just hearing how his journey went and stuff like that. Like,
from unknown to the number 1 pick.
Unranked, all that type of stuff to number 1. It's like, and then still just how he carries himself still. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will get in that situation and get big-headed, start talking crazy. He's still so humble, so grounded. And even being the number 1 pick, you could tell in his head, he's still like, I got work to do still. Like, they said, I was picked number 1, cool. It's still goals to knock off that list. It's still things to show.
He keeps that mentality, man. Cam Ward is going to be special.
Yeah, well-deserved number 1 pick.
So well-deserved.
And I mean, we all Westchester Talks, so we have to shout out the 2 kids from Westchester that got drafted. Sure. One went to Iona Prep, one went to Stepinac. I forgot the round.
Okay, that's fire.
I got the names in my head, but I don't want to say the wrong names.
Yeah, we gonna
I said the wrong names last episode.
If you know what we talk about, man, comment, please.
Tag them.
I got the names, but we just gonna tag them, save ourselves.
Tag the 2 NFL
because New York, you know, we have a dim light when it comes to football.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You know, we such a basketball city and a basketball state. You know, when it comes to football, you know, we're kind of left out of that discussion solely because, you know, Georgia, Texas, and, you know, Florida, you know, they in California, they get all the top tier talent. But, you know, shout out to those 2 young men. If you know what we talking about, please tag them, please.
Because that's huge, man. It's huge for Westchester. So shout out to y'all young men. And I feel like the last really topic to end it off with, something we seen go viral. This animal conversation, man. So let me find my phone real quick. I feel like this gonna be. So I want to ask y'all this, and we can make it quick so we can get up out of here, man. So I seen this. It's called an important thought experiment. So it's a thought experiment, and it gives you this scenario. So we're in the arena, and try to keep it like, obviously we could be, oh, how big is the arena?
Yeah.
How is there this in the arena? Is there that? Just let's try to keep it to as simple as possible with the details. So when you're in the arena, and you got to pick 2 animals out of what I'm about to name to you. So let me just read the animals first. So you're in the arena. It's 50 hawks, 10 crocodiles, 3 brown bears, 15 wolves, 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, 4 lions, and then you got a hunter with a rifle. And we'll put this on the screen too so y'all can kind of see. But what would y'all pick? Y'all got to pick 2 out of everything I just named to protect you and fight with you, and then everything else is attacking you. And you got to survive for an hour.
I would pick a brown bear and a gorilla.
So you picking 3 brown bears and 5 gorillas to protect you from everything else there.
I think I'm good with the gorillas alone, you know what I'm saying? But, the brown bears is for anything that's up in the sky, they climb really well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I watch National Geographic and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But they climb really well, and, and gorillas do the same thing. So not only are they, big animals, but they're very agile as well. So I'm going with the
Okay,
the
look
big.
at you.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
I'm Fred Irwin, man. That's what I do.
Okay, this us assuming there's stuff to climb in the arena. It's not an empty arena, but this.
You feel science, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So you and then what you picking out of all that?
I'm gonna go with the gorilla, and I might go with the hogs to eat the rats that are running around.
That's my biggest fear in the whole arena is rats.
We might be
So
all
you
right.
would go 5 gorillas and 50 hawks.
5 gorillas, 50 hogs. I'll be all right.
Because you feel like the 5 gorillas could deal with everything else,
deal with
and the
everything
50
around.
hawks got the.
And the gorilla gonna hold it down.
Yeah, see me, I feel like thinking of the scenario, I just always drag stuff. I always go try to deep dive into it. So me thinking of it as an important thought experiment, that was the key thing for me.
Yeah.
So it being a thought experiment, I feel like there's no right or wrong answer, but I feel like the goal of it and what's gonna make the 1% is the people that's saying that it's over. You just submitting yo, bro, it don't matter what 2 combination I pick, bro, it's over. Cause I feel like no matter what you pick out of the 2, it's kind of quiet for you. Cause even if you pick the bears and the gorillas, 10,000 rats, you know what I'm saying?
That's why the hogs.
That's
don't
kind
eat
of
the
crazy.
rats.
But still 10,000. A hawk could pick up 1 rat at a time.
Nah,
It's
they
not
gonna-
about to
it's gonna
dodge that.
clip 'em
And then
one at a time.
while your 50 hawks is messing with these 10,000 rats, your 5 gorillas got to fight 4 lions, 7 buffaloes, 15 wolves, 3 bears, and 10 crocodiles.
Who made that up?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this is crazy.
That's what
Everybody in the arena dying. It don't even be yo, that's the end of it. Everybody in the arena gonna die. It don't even matter. The rats is killing me slowly anyway, so it don't even matter.
That's a fact.
That's
I
wild.
think that's really what it comes down to with that experiment, man. That was just I found real interesting.
That was funny.
It was a funny thing. But yeah, I think we can end with that. And last thing, how we gonna start doing here at Westchester Talks is we definitely, talk sports, have fun, certain topics, but we also at the end of every episode we want to end with a business spotlight. So this week we're gonna end with giving a shout out to the Calief brand. Shout out to Calief
Yes, sir.
from Mount Vernon, New York. The owners T-Mac and Bugs, definitely a great brand. Make sure y'all go check them out. A new brand, I would say, came out within this past year, but definitely movement and motion, they've been out for years. So definitely tap in, got fire stuff. We not gonna be shouting nobody out unless we co-signing it. So definitely a fire brand. Make sure y'all check them out, Calief. And with that being said, this is Westchester Talks. I'm your host, PJ, my brother Fred,
Yes, sir.
my brother Lex.
Sir.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what y'all thinking, how y'all feeling, what we could do to improve. And this is Westchester Talks, Westchester to the world. We out of here.